Presiding Chancellor, graduates, guests, members of the university community, good morning and welcome to UTS on this fantastic occasion. I'm Professor Ian Kneebone, Head of Discipline, Clinical Psychology from the Graduate School of Health and the Faculty of Health here at UTS. Graduations are one of the university's most important events, and we're so delighted to resume ceremonies in 2022. I was just thinking today it's my first ceremony since 2018. But for many of you, it's your first ceremony at this level of achievement, and that's just fantastic. I'd like to introduce you to the official party here on stage. Seated at the centre of the stage is Emeritus Professor Anthony Baker. The presiding Chancellor today is joined by Professor Rosalie Viney, Director, Centre for Health Economics Research and Evaluation, who will deliver the occasional address. Professor Deborah Anderson, Dean of the Faculty of Health, Professor Heather McDonald, Deputy Dean, Faculty of Design, Architecture and Building, who will be presenting the graduates. The other people seated on the stage today are professors, academics, professional staff from faculties and institutes who have played such a large part in the success of today's graduates. And now it gives me great pleasure to invite Emeritus Professor Anthony Baker to formally open the proceedings. Thank you.
In the name of the Council, I declare this congregation of the University of Technology, Sydney, duly assembled, and welcome to all of you. On behalf of the University of Technology, Sydney, before we begin the formal proceedings, and on behalf of all those present, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. It is upon their ancestral lands that UTS stands. Similarly, I would like to pay respect to the elders, both past and present, acknowledging them as the traditional custodians of knowledge for this place. In this graduation ceremony, we will celebrate the conferral of awards upon graduates from the faculties of Health and Design, Architecture and Building. Today's ceremony marks a great achievement for the graduates and recognises the support which they have received from family and friends, many of whom are here today. We warmly welcome you, and together we celebrate the achievements of the graduates. I wish to say a couple of things to our graduates today. Graduation is a turning point in your life, and today you have graduated from a world-leading University of Technology and Australia's #1 young university. At UTS, you gained much knowledge, learnt many new skills, realised how to communicate your ideas and discovered how to work effectively with others. For some of you, that occurred in an international context, but for all of you here today, graduating from UTS marks your emergence as a global citizen. You will be held in high esteem thanks to the high-quality education you have received with us here at UTS. Please remember that with pride. Life beyond UTS will bring you both opportunities and challenges. You will encounter many such opportunities as you start or continue in your careers, and you may well enjoy exciting prospects across the world as borders open again. Let's hope they stay open. It seems there's a new COVID wave that is going to wash over us fairly soon, but hopefully our knowledge and intelligence about public health will actually stand us in good stead. As graduates, you have opportunities to influence lives and the quality of those lives across the globe. Equally, the challenges that you face after graduation have never been greater. Scrutiny and expectation from society is high and will only increase over time. So I'd like to leave you with two guiding principles. The first of these is to use your knowledge and skills for the very best interests of humanity, including for future generations. because the future depends on all of us using our talents for the benefit of the world and its communities in which we live our lives. Your contribution will ensure a more prosperous, inclusive and sustainable society for people everywhere. I ask you, as a UTS graduate, to ensure that you leave the world in a better state through your efforts and contribution. And the second thing that I would ask is that you always remember throughout your career to maintain the highest professional and personal integrity. I have no doubt you will face, as all of us do, many ethical dilemmas and challenges, personally and professionally. I ask you all, as UTS graduates, to remember to maintain your professional pride, because this is essential if your integrity and the worth of your UTS education is to be maintained. In large part, you have the efforts and ethics of many UTS graduates who came before you to thank for the university's reputation. Likewise, you share that obligation to maintain this reputation for the UTS students of today and the graduates of tomorrow. Please keep in mind these guiding principles at all times and make yourselves, your families and your university proud of you. Finally, I also want you to continue to enjoy the benefits of an ongoing relationship with UTS as your university. Stay connected with this world-class institution and stay curious. This will not be the end of your learning journey, and we look forward to you continuing your journey with us in the years ahead. In the meantime, know that today you will join a group of over 245,000 UTS alumni around the world in various professions. And I understand we've contributed something like 11,000 graduates to that number in this year. Your alumni office will be your lifelong connection to UTS, no matter where your careers and lives take you. On behalf of the Council of the University of Technology, Sydney, I congratulate all of our UTS graduates on their achievements in obtaining the awards for which they have qualified. Congratulations, UTS graduates. I now invite Professor Deborah Anderson, Dean of the Faculty of Health, to present graduates.
Presiding Chancellor, I invite all graduates to stand. Presiding Chancellor, the UTS Council has resolved that candidates recommended to it by the faculty boards in Health and Design, Architecture and Building as eligible for awards have completed all requirements of a course of study approved by the boards and have conferred these awards upon them. Presiding Chancellor, I now present these graduates who are here before you to acknowledge the awards for which they have qualified.
On behalf of the Council of the University of Technology, Sydney, I congratulate graduates on their achievements in obtaining the awards for which they have qualified.
Graduates, please be seated. Presiding Chancellor, the faculty is renowned for its strength in practice-based disciplines across nursing, midwifery, sports and exercise science, and health services. It also incorporates key offerings in public health, complementary medicine, as well as chronic disease and palliative care. Generating knowledge through research excellence is important in our faculty and is exemplified by the work of our higher degree by research students and their academic and industry supervisors. We acknowledge their collective scholarship here and note the specific graduates at this ceremony who have completed that formal study. Presiding Chancellor, I present to you graduates receiving research degrees. The following students have graduated with the Doctor of Philosophy: Antonio Osvaldo Amuda Canali, for a thesis entitled Economic Evaluation of Pharmacist-Led Medication Review in the primary healthcare centres in Chile, supported by a supervisory panel which includes Principal Supervisor Professor Kylie Williams and Co-Supervisor Dr. Maria Garcia Gardenones. Presiding Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Antoni Osvaldo Armuda Canali. Sarah Michelle Dean Griffin, for a thesis entitled Minor Ailment Services from Community Pharmacy, supported by a supervisory panel which included Principal Supervisor Professor Kylie Williams and Co-Supervisor Dr. Maria Garcia Cardenas. Presiding Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Sarah Michelle Dean Griffin. Imogen Jade Catherine Lum Munday, for a thesis entitled The Language of Pain, New Understandings, supported by a supervisory panel which included Principal Supervisor Professor Ian Kneebone and Co-Supervisor Professor Toby Newton-John. Presiding Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Imogen Jade Catherine Lum Munday. Lin Zhu, for a thesis entitled Evaluation of Methods to Detect Legacy Effects in Cardiovascular Post-Trial Studies, supported by a supervisory panel which included Principal Supervisor Professor Andrew Hayen and Co-Supervisor Associate Professor Katie Bell. Presiding Chancellor, I present to you Dr. Lin Zhu. Presiding Chancellor, we will now present to you our coursework graduates receiving awards today.
The following students have graduated with a Master of Health Services Management and Planning. Navjot Kaur. Master of Pharmacy, Dana Hasune. Soo Ji Kim. Amanda Mana Penn. Melissa Mays Penn. Tanisha Zing. Master of Physiotherapy, Tina Jokaris. Master of Public Health, Alison Melita Canty. Master of Public Health Advanced, Devangi Patil. Master of Public Health in Data Analytics, Rebecca Kelly Bridgemoen. Bachelor of Health Science with credit, Jasmine Sutrina. Bachelor of Nursing with distinction, Gemma Asbridge. Isabel Downey. Fiona Ghazali. Jaziel Kezia Santos Geralde. Christine Santiago Hesilva. Mallory Amy Green. Leon Thomas Matthias Helm. Rebecca Beatrice Karslake. Moeun Kim. Min Jong Kwon. Lakshmi Kumari Lama. Freya Matthews Whelan. Catherine Siobhan Pascoe. Rebecca Stevens. Ekta Tapa. Claire Whelan. Georgina Louisa Whitaker. Bachelor of Nursing with credit, Pramita Acharya Dakal. Monica Adikari. Yunju Bae. Sharmila Dahan. Yuan Yuan Tang. Pik Ki Fan. Bishu Garbuja. Ashika Gimire. Eduardo Gomer Sebastian Gonzalez. Sarah Greco. Jessica Hannibal. Brittany Howard. Simron KC. Sochiata Kim. Cheonu Lee. Jessica Grace Logan. Sandia Nia Payne. Mary Penilem Santos Newton. Francis Xavier Fernandez Baguia. Prasama Parajuli. Elizabeth Hillary Pitch. Mahalia Rose Rivera. Rona Lane Apilado Tandira. Suruchi Tapa. Melissa Jane Torrefranca. Cynthia Viana Guanais. Alexandra Weir. Gabrielle Benedicta Widianto. Da In Yoon. Bachelor of Nursing, Emil Karagai. Billy Rose Cook. Mia Lee Fennick. Anupa Gale. Kusum Gimire Oli. Uma Girey. Supriya Hamal. Angela Lama. Mimi Tao Nguyen. Charmaine Ann Adriano Pili. Kangan Pokrel. Lakpa Lomu Sherpa. Joshna Shrista. Kalpana Silwal. Bronte Simpson. Anu Wagle. Yingna Rong Shu. Bachelor of Sport and Exercise Science, Dylan Bennett.
Presiding Chancellor, this concludes the presentations of graduates from the Faculty of Health. I now invite Professor Heather MacDonald, Deputy Dean, Faculty of Design, Architecture and Building, to present graduates.
Presiding Chancellor, we will now present to you our coursework graduates receiving awards today from the Faculty of Design, Architecture and Building.
The following students have graduated with a Master of Architecture: Enoch Chok Hang Chu, Master of Local Government, Nathan Brent Ladmore, Master of Property Development, Punyada Jarentip, Graduate Diploma in Property Development with Credit, Pramod Kumaran Tiruna Burukasa, Bachelor of Landscape Architecture Honours with Second Class Honours, Division 1, Dylan Jackson Charles. Olivia Monteleone, Bachelor of Design in Animation, Bachelor of Arts in International Studies, Elena Viet Fong Lair. Bachelor of Design in Integrated Product Design, Bachelor of Creative Intelligence and Innovation, Ella Louise Williams. Bachelor of Construction Project Management with First Class Honours, Viviane Corey. Bachelor of Construction Project Management with Second Class Honours, Eamon Tai Wright. Bachelor of Design in Animation, Daniel Cooper. Nina Gordon. Sarah Upfold. Bachelor of Design in Architecture, Naila Muzaffar Mirza. Bachelor of Design in Interior Architecture, Danielle Meyerowitz. Bachelor of Design in Photography, Georgia Ackle. Bachelor of Design in Visual Communication, Aaron Davis. Sunny McPhillips. Zara O'Brien. Michaela Elizabeth Shaw. Bachelor of Property Economics, Stephanie Choi. From the Faculty of Health, Master of Pharmacy, Sukninda Samra. Bachelor of Nursing, Khadija Benhadou. Sabina Gurung.
Presiding Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of graduates. Emeritus Professor Baker, before I introduce the occasional speaker, I wish to add my congratulations to our new graduates. Many of you have waited several years for this graduation to happen, and we're particularly happy that you're able to join us here today to celebrate. Our occasional speaker today is Professor Rosalie Viney, who is Professor of Health Economics and Director of the Centre for Health Economics Research and Evaluation, SHARE, at the University of Technology, Sydney. She undertook her undergraduate studies in economics at the University of Tasmania and her PhD studies at the University of Sydney. She's been the Director of SHARE since 2012. Her research interests are broadly in the area of evaluation of health policy, but include measurement and valuation of quality of life and health outcomes, health technology assessment and priority setting, and understanding what drives consumer and provider decisions in the health system and how this affects health expenditure and outcomes, particularly ensuring value for money from health resources. Throughout her career, Rosalie has undertaken a broad range of projects for state, territory health authorities and for the Australian Government Department of Health in order to inform health policy and practice. She also had long-standing involvement in reimbursement decision-making for the health system in Australia. Until March 2017, Rosalie was also a member of the Pharmaceutical Benefits Advisory Committee, PBAC, and chaired of its Economic Subcommittee. And she's now a member of the Life-Saving Drugs Panel. She is currently Scientific Executive Chair for the EuroQual Association, which develops and disseminates leading quality of life instruments internationally for use in health policy evaluation. Professor Viney has long involvement in the fields of health economics and health services research in Australia and internationally. Through the Australian Health Economics Society and the Health Services Research Association of Australia and New Zealand, and through the International Health Economics Association, where she is a current board member. She was a member of the National Health and Medical Research Council's Research Committee from 2016 to 2021. She is also a Fellow of the Academy of Social Sciences in Australia. It gives me great pleasure to invite Professor Rosalie Viney to deliver the occasional address.
Presiding Chancellor, Deans, distinguished guests, and fellow academic staff, graduates, your families and friends. Graduations are a time for celebration, and it's an honour to join you in congratulating our graduates today on their achievements. I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation on whose lands the university stands, and pay my respects to elders past and present, and to First Nations people here today. The deep knowledge of and care for country and community confirm that these are and always will be Aboriginal lands. I also acknowledge and pay respects to the Palawa people of Lutruwita, where I grew up. Graduates, this is an important day that marks the end of one part of your journey of learning and the start of your next adventures. Many of you will have clear career goals, indeed paths that you are already pursuing, but others of you will not. And to be honest, both are okay. Those of you who know exactly where you're going may be surprised where your careers take you. And those of you who are still wondering will, with time and curiosity, find the right place to contribute to society. For me, I'm a professor of health economics because I surprised myself by choosing an economics degree over an arts degree. I did have a bet each way by combining my economics studies with an English literature major. It didn't always go well. Exam timetables were a headache. And having the head of the Department of Economics peer over his glasses at you curiously and say, "Are you one of our students?" can make you question your choices. I could claim to have been strategically pursuing a liberal arts path, but the truth is, I kept studying English because I liked reading fiction. When it came to the choice about which area to pursue, I had to admit that enjoying reading was not quite the same as in-depth literary critique, and that what I cared more about pursuing was what drives economic and social outcomes. Economics may be described as the dismal science, but it is really the study of choices, how people make decisions, and how those decisions affect their own and population well-being. But I've never regretted the literacy and writing skills that my choices gave me, nor the fact that reading literature was a different and parallel way to study how people make decisions and how those decisions affect their own and population well-being. And I want to illustrate this by talking about one of my favourite books from my English studies, E.M. Forster's Howard's End. So in the guise of a turn-of-the-century novel about a house and a blended family, it's actually an investigation of the impact of economic circumstances and opportunities on people's lives and of social inequality in a changing world. And its recurrent theme is Only Connect. It's my favourite book because of that theme. Only connect between people of different backgrounds, between different professions, between different aspects of our lives, and between actions and consequences. It could be a motto for how to live and to define the way we work, whatever our training or our professions. Today, we have graduates from very different disciplines, but understanding and connecting how your different disciplines contribute to health and wellbeing outcomes is so important. For example, our research team have recently completed a study that evaluated retrofits of home energy upgrades for vulnerable people, a really complex project requiring connections between disciplines and methods and between consumers, government and researchers, but that also had real impacts on people's lives. The retrofits reduced energy costs, made homes warmer, and improved mental health and social well-being. It provided evidence about how to create policies that can improve outcomes for those who are most vulnerable. And we know that there is increasing evidence of the social and economic determinants of health, but also the effects of inherited disadvantage. This is not about good or bad genes, but about the enduring impacts of intergenerational poverty. American economist Janet Curry demonstrated that babies born in polluted neighbourhoods have worse outcomes throughout their lives than those born in neighbourhoods without pollution. And depressingly, cleaning up the polluted neighbourhoods increases property values, so poorer people get priced out of the cleaned up environment, entrenching the poor health outcomes. This does not mean that we should not address environmental degradation, but we cannot think that is the solution alone. We need to make the connection to address the root causes of inequality as a whole problem rather than in parts. And we need interdisciplinary approaches to do that. More recently, and across the world, we've seen how COVID disproportionately affected those who live in poorer housing conditions and those without secure employment or sickness benefits, and those who did not have the luxury of working from home or being able to isolate safely and effectively. And also that the most effective policies, particularly in the absence of vaccines, were those that addressed economic inequality and access to welfare benefits. We perhaps never had stronger lived experience of the connections between economic circumstances and health outcomes, and never more convincing evidence that they need to matter for everyone. Graduates, it would be easy to feel overwhelmed by these intransigent challenges, but what I hope is that your studies have given you the tools to be agents of change, to seek solutions. And here I come back to that motto, only connect. Whether at a global level or a local level, you can make a difference to individuals and their communities by using your education to make connections about what drives outcomes and why they matter. This phrase, only connect, resonates for me in different ways. In the first place, it's about causality. How can we understand the drivers of choices that people make and how these affect their outcomes and well-being? How we can use that information to drive better policy. That is the bread and butter of health economics. Secondly, and especially for those of you entering health professions or in health professions, it is about empathy. Be open to the perspectives of others, be they patients, carers, or fellow workers, and make the connection between evidence and lived experience. As a health economist, I mostly deal with data. I have been privileged to be involved in making decisions about new medicines in Australia, decisions that require evidence from clinical trials and systematic measurement and modelling of costs and outcomes. And I'm passionate that a rigorous approach to this is essential. But I can also say that sometimes the most compelling evidence is the lived experience of patients, to understand what the outcomes from trials mean for their lives. For example, something like an extra 10 metres on a 6-minute walk test, undeniably quantitative, that's measured in a trial, can mean for a child with cystic fibrosis that they can dress themselves and walk to the bus and independently participate in school and play. So we need the capacity to imagine the lives of others in data, which for me started with reading fiction. And so I urge you to be willing to find the ways and the skills to see yourself not just as professionals, but as consumers and as patients at times, and to have the power of imagination, and to be open to other methods, other paradigms, and others' experience in how you make your professional decisions. As 2022 graduates, and indeed graduates from earlier years, you've studied through a global pandemic and had to study in new ways with new modes of learning. You've experienced and understood the importance of adaptability and have seen how circumstances drive health outcomes and well-being. You are uniquely placed to find ways to only connect, and through this use your education and training to make a better and a fairer society. Congratulations, and I wish you well on this journey.
Thank you very much, Professor Viney. That was very interesting, and having at some time been an undergraduate student in my own time, of course I did take a few notes, but they're very disjointed perhaps. But I mean, to pick up on, well, the very opposite of being disjointed, your message of only connect. I mean, that is so important, because I think one of the issues in society, and indeed we've seen it in what I might call the political class, is that we have these things called bubbles, where people seem only to know about the milieu in which they live their life. But there's really a whole lot of other experiences out there that if we connect, if we only connect, we can understand those experiences and understand that indeed there will always be people better off than we are and people who are less well off than we are. And as educated people, I think we have a responsibility certainly to help people who are less well off than we are. I like in terms of practical things, I mean, I certainly agree that studying English literature does actually build your reading capacities, of course, and your writing skills, which as generic skills for any educated person are always very important. We do need to be able to read and write at a high level, and that is really, really important. The other thing that you started talking about was differences in career paths, which, I mean, we can't predict, or perhaps I can predict from where I stand what my career path might be or might have been. But from your point of view of new graduates, your career path is out there in front of you, perhaps some things known and well understood, some things waiting for you in the future. And being educated broadly is very important. So if you do have an opportunity to sort of step outside your field to some extent and learn some new skills, that may indeed open new paths to you. So that's really interesting. Empathy is a very important concept. I was talking about the idea that there certainly will be people in society who are not as well off as we are, and having empathy with those people is very important. I've personally, if I can inject a personal note, I've always thought that the quality of a society is actually measured by how well it deals with the less well-off and more vulnerable people. It would be easy to be cynical and say, I'm all right, Jack, you've got to look after yourself. But I think if we really are a working and caring society, we look after the people who perhaps don't have the capacity to look after themselves. So I really found it a very interesting talk, and thank you very much for that. It was most stimulating, and I'm sure made a lot of sense to our new graduates here today. I want to also acknowledge the family and guests who are here with us today and those who are at home or watching. On behalf of the graduates, we thank you for your support that you've shown the graduates throughout their studies. That's most critical to the positive outcomes that we're celebrating today. So let me say that the best wishes and the pride of the university go with each and every UTS graduate. Congratulations again.
Presiding Chancellor, guests and graduates, that occasional address concludes the formal proceedings for this ceremony. The academic procession is about to leave the Great Hall. Would the congregation please rise for the academic procession?